What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you own it. Sorry, we're off to a little bit of a late start today. We're still getting used to the new time, but that I can't even do it. I can't even do it.
Did you guys not see us at all?
I can't even do it. Listen, we went for 5 to 7 minutes. Went through the whole countdown and everything. Had no idea we weren't live, but now we are. Thanks for letting us know. No internet problems. And by the way, yesterday, Fat Man Zoom, no crashing. The computer's good.
Yeah.
We're nice and cool. Not running hot anymore. We're going to get this started off right, though. Guys, welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. Thanks for showing up to our newly scheduled programming at 3:45. We will promise to be back on time tomorrow. But Fat Man Zoom, before we get into anything, let's hit everybody up with the starting five.
Starting five is Jeff Chow, Zion Khan, Tim G, John Gosson, and My Maroon. You guys, welcome to Stock Market Live. We are live every Monday through Thursday, 3:45 Eastern time. This is a new time, but we stay live after the market to watch earnings, discuss anything that's going on. We have, the big topic is this continued sell-off. So we're going to talk about, the overall market, maybe get into a couple of headlines, but this is the continued storyline until things really turn around. So the more important thing is I had nothing to do with that. I actually found the issue, but anyways,
this is my fault.
But anyways, that's going to be the big topic of the discussion. So guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're liking the content. We definitely will take a lot of your guys' perspective. And I want to start, you guys may have seen, or I don't know, that wouldn't have shown up on their end, but I want to start with a comment.
Yeah.
And so Joseph makes a comment here, and I want what it reminded me of is a lot of my friends on social media. So Instagram, Twitter, those platforms. When crypto's rolling, I always know there's like 3 people without a doubt they'll have stories up about how much money they're making and they're banking on crypto.
Yeah.
When Tesla is running, I know without a doubt they're going to be they're going to be posting about Tesla, how much money they're making. But you know what they don't do, Brad?
What's that?
They don't post when the shit goes south.
Yeah, when they get wrecked.
Yeah, and I got a problem with that. And I'm not saying this is you, Joseph. I don't know you from Adam, but your comment here, I feel vindicated that when I said all stocks, even value stocks, were going to fall on Fed policy. House of Cards. I was correct, Joseph says. Goldman Sachs tanked more than QQQ. First off, it's crazy because in such a short comment, there's so much that you unpackage. First, I'll say when I relate you to my friends, you're on the opposite spectrum. The opposite end of the spectrum is when you're vindicated that the market tanks, when the market has a 7-day losing streak and you show up and you pump your chest up, that's cool. But your ass better be back here if there's a rally. If it runs up, don't you go running for the hills like my other buddies on Instagram. You show up and you sit in it. So it's great to hear all the comments about how I was right. First off, you say, I said all stocks, even value stocks, were going to fall on Fed policy. Technically, I think the bigger day is, or I don't think we can yet say that until we hear from the Fed meeting. So yes, initially, the Fed meant the Fed talked about rate hikes, and that's caused fear. But I don't think you truly assess where we're at until after the Fed speaks and after that first rate hike is initiated. Then I think you can pound your chest.
Yeah, to be clear though, too, when I was talking about this, I'm looking at PNC right now. It's up 1.5% today. Looking at some of the other value stocks that actually haven't suffered nearly as much as these high valued stocks. And I've continued to say this. Yes, the rest of the market was dragged down, but you look at something like a Zoom that's down God knows how long and how much. And that stock is actually making money, which is kind of mind blowing. Netflix is down 50%. You have Palantir is down a shit ton. Like all of those high valued stocks are down 75, 80, some of them 90% right now. Goldman Sachs is not down 90%. Are you effing kidding me? Like Microsoft is down 15, 20% right now. It's not down 90, 80%. It's just, I mean, you compare the ones that got absolutely wrecked compared to the ones that haven't, and it's in value. And it's in, large cap tech that actually continues to make money. So yes, they had a pullback, but to sit here and say they got wrecked is just not true.
Well, and using Goldman Sachs is like not a very good example. You're using an example to make an argument about the overall market or value when the reason for its move down actually was initiated with something other than that. So like, while you can use that as an example, that's not the best example because Goldman Sachs had poor earnings.
Yeah.
And so to say it's down more than the Qs, well, that's not indicative of overall value. So you're using one example, one stock to make your argument, and actually the argument's not justified. But to be clear, friend, we both talked about the fact that like there was going to be a lot of pain. So I think we got to see what else is going on. Obviously, 7-day losing streak is not good. I think looking towards the end of the day, I want to get into the question
the
of
SPY is green, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Good.
So moving towards the end of the day, I was actually going to say like it's actually looking like it's turning, but this probably lends into what you're about to talk about. But Oliver Thorpe's comment here, I don't feel like the day is here yet. Obviously, lots of announcements this week. Global shit unfolding. What do you think confirmation looks like? At least 3 days of green in a row is the question. What will it take for you to feel like that?
That's a great question. I don't think that. So first of all, and actually, I actually agree with Joseph's comment as well. He followed up by saying that he got wrecked and he wasn't trying to time the bottom. And I think that that's really kind of going to be the key here too. I appreciate you saying that, Joseph. But as far as Oliver Thorpe, confirmation for me is going to get the S&P back up over the 200-day moving average. And we're starting to head back towards that. And I think that that's the first step in confirmation. So will it take 2 or 3 days to get there? Maybe. Let's take a look at the S&P and how it's doing today. So it's working its way back up there. We saw a huge move in the markets today. Let's just look at the 5-minute just to kind of give you a better idea of how things are continuing to surge up. This by no means am I saying that this is the bottom here and this is the start of the next rally, but I think there's a little bit of excitement here. I think some of it could be, hey, maybe the Fed's going to come in and not, absolutely torch the markets. Maybe he'll backpedal a little bit, especially with some of the dynamics we're seeing in the economy. Who knows? But what I do know is that there's been a lot that's been undervalued. Facebook, for example, 20 times next year's earnings. That's what it came down to today, was their forward PE. And right now it's still sitting pretty cheap at at 22 times next year's earnings. This is stupid cheap. I don't care what the chart says. This just deserves to be bought up. It makes no sense for it to be down here. So like there are, and I think that's what a lot of people are looking at. They're looking at stocks like that. Microsoft was down below 30 times next year's earnings. And to me, that you're looking at some of that and thinking to yourself, why shouldn't I be buying some of this up? Netflix made a huge bounce and that just almost turned green after being down 12% today. So really great moves. Some of the stuff, and most of it is in value. I'm not going to sit here and say that some of it isn't, but Roku actually is about to go green here. I'm looking at that one. There is some stuff. Snowflake just turned green. So there is some stuff that's turning that isn't value or it isn't high multiple still, but
market's closed out.
Market is actually closed. It looks like the SPY closed at 439. So actually closed in the green by 0.5% after being down 3% at one point today. So really wild day in the market. And I told you guys what my plan was. Fatman Zoom told you what his was yesterday too. And I had mentioned that I was just going to sit on my hands, not do anything. So Oliver Thorpe, I know it was a really long answer, but I thought that it was worth kind of giving you explanations that for me, I wasn't touching anything, not going to do anything, and actually worked out today.
Well, and if you could pull up the daily on the S&P, to the question about what does confirmation look like, I think step one is you got to close above the 200-day. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I mean, look how oversold this is on the RSI too. But yeah, step one would be RSI, and then step two, I think, would probably getting back into this channel.
Yeah. So that's what my fear is I'm not worried about the first step. I'm a little bit concerned about getting into the channel and seeing a rejection. So listen, there's a lot of space between the 200-day and getting back in that channel. So, that's why I'm okay sitting in my stuff, but if it does make that move, it's going to be challenging to be patient and wait, but I'm going to do just that. Thanks for the question. Jessica Hernandez, I pride myself. I feel like I'm Brad Spellcheck, and I actually saw him put the typo in the title, and I totally forgot to say something because we were commenting, but it is now updated. Thank you for checking on us.
Oh, thanks.
Call us on the titles. But I literally saw you do it, and I was like, oh, I got to say something. And then we got distracted talking about
that's all good.
Whatever. So let's talk about the end of the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. We sat down here getting ready for the live stream, and it was like miserable. And then we look up and we're like, oh man, stuff's turning around. Your account turned green. I haven't even looked at my account. I have no earthly clue how my portfolio performed today. But I imagine it's probably around the S&P. With that being said, that turnaround was actually kind of the opposite of what we've seen the last 6 days.
Yeah.
What is it? Does that mean anything to you? Does that give you any promise, or is it just?
It does. I think so. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a red day tomorrow, though. There's a lot of still volatility to be had. I don't think this is the end of the line as far as the selling's concerned. So no, I don't think that we just go straight up from here.
Yeah.
But I also think that funny pranks going wrong. Thank you for that. I also don't think that getting 100% in the cash on Friday was the right idea either, because of days like today. Like, imagine if you panicked and you sold everything this morning or on Friday.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Agreed. Yeah. So tomorrow's certainly interesting, but really the rest of this week, and we're going to do a video on earnings.
Yeah.
We're going to do an earnings video for each day. So Tuesday earnings, we'll do a video kind of setting it up. But what are the key days for you? Like
this week,
top 2 key days for you.
Wednesday,
yep.
I think huge day. We have the Fed meeting. We're going to hear about rates and them tightening up the balance sheet, all that good stuff. And I think
Thursday.
Yeah. What's Thursday is Apple, right? Yeah. So I think Thursday is going to be a big day as well. It all starts tomorrow, though. And tomorrow we have Microsoft. Their earnings are going to be after hours, and we're going to be live for that, too.
Today, we actually have, for a Monday, some decent earnings. I didn't see what Halliburton did pre-market.
Halliburton beat earnings. They came in and didn't really surprise anybody, but they did beat earnings, and they came in $1 billion above last year's revenue. So all good stuff there. No surprises. Stock still sold off, but looked like that also kind of made some a move back as well. That's been on fire over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Tell us if you guys want us to check out any today, but for a Monday, actually, we got IBM and Logitech, which I think could be really interesting.
Yeah.
And I will go to Twitterland and see what's going on. But if you guys are looking at anything in particular, there are a few other ones, but nothing stands out to me. Really, I've talked about IBM and the turnaround story. It'll be interesting to see what the new CEO, and I don't even know if he's new by now because he's almost going on a year, but if there's anything to that story. Many years of declining growth, which we've talked about as certainly a headwind for any growth company.
Yeah.
Seeing if that rate of growth can continue to turn around. And Logitech, I know you've in the past really liked Logitech.
Yeah, I've really liked Logitech, but I think that this will be interesting for Logitech as well, because I like Logitech as a pandemic play.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody being at home, everybody working from home, gaming, whatever, even just straight up working your 9 to 5 from home. Logitech benefited from all of that. So it's been a rough go for them since things have kind of been sort of getting back to normal. And you can see on the chart that's been reflective of that. This looks exactly like I would imagine a Zoom chart would look like, right? So, obviously had a halfway decent day on a comeback. Can Logitech continue this? Will the demand continue for their products? I think that remains to be seen. Obviously, we'll hear from them today. Doesn't look like that actually is the case, as the stock is now down 3.5% this in after hours trading. Not a whole lot of volume, so I don't know what that actually means just yet. But as soon as we get those numbers, we certainly can let you know. But yeah, that was one that I really liked during the pandemic. But obviously, you can see that it's pulled back, along with a lot of the other ones that were benefiting from that as well.
Was there any headlines that you wanted to talk about today? I know we didn't talk about Kohl's, but
we didn't talk about Kohl's, but Kohl's, there is no confirmation that they have a merger candidate, correct?
Or no, not as far as I know. No,
they found a suitor, I guess is really how you want to put that. So I've talked about this in the past. Over the last 6 months, I've talked about how I think Amazon should buy Kohl's. They have a perfect partnership, but it seems as if the other companies that are gunning for them are like big holding companies that lots of people have never really heard of.
Yeah.
But to me, it still wouldn't surprise me. I think it would surprise a lot of people, but I would love to see Amazon scoop up Kohl's just because they already have a partnership with them. You can go and return packages to Kohl's. And Amazon's been looking for brick and mortar retail stores. Like it's a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why they haven't done it already.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a really good call, especially because Amazon's creating those style stores, which they're testing out.
Yeah.
LA, they're going to have their first one, but they're presumably going to have more. Why not just buy out something like Kohl's and retrofit those into these style shops?
Right.
Which is interesting. I don't love the fact that they're doing it, but it makes sense. It's not out of left field. I just don't love it because I'm not sure how many people are actually going to buy this stuff. But if they're quality goods and they're looking for it to be sort of like a technology experiment, maybe it does do really well. We'll see. I'm trying to pull up Intel's numbers. Not Intel's, I'm sorry, Logitech's numbers, seeing if we get something.
Kohl's is closed up today 36%. Just unbelievable. At this point, guys, I don't know if I would actually chase this. Just my personal opinion. I think that I'd wait for this to come down because I probably will. This is all based off of rumor that Kohl's is looking for a buyer. That's literally all it is. So, is it worth the risk for you? And I think that would just be the question you have to ask yourself. But to me, the answer would be no.
So Logitech earnings per share, $1.24 expected. Revenue $1.45 billion, which is a nice bump from last quarter. I'm trying to see.
IBM is going off.
Is it?
Yeah, it's up 3%.
All right, let's see what we got. So IBM earnings per share estimates at 329. Revenue actually a little bit lower, 15.96 billion. So hopefully they blew out revenue. Let's see what we got if we have anything.
The expectation was lower than this quarter. Is that what you're saying?
Then last quarter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They had downward revised it, so potentially they could have blown that out.
Yeah.
Looking to see if anything's out. Nothing yet out from them. Okay, we got it.
For IBM?
Yeah, so earnings per share estimates. I have 329. Came in at 339. 335.
Okay.
Revenue. These numbers are weird. Sorry, these numbers are different than I thought. Estimates were 16 billion, came in at 16.7 billion. Jeez. So they beat.
And the stock is up 5.25%.
They said something.
Something's in that report that's got people excited. If we find something in there, guys, we'll certainly let you know. But the stock's now up 6% after hours and continuing to climb. Holy shitballs.
I can't remember. Is IBM a value?
Yes, it's a value tech.
I think that's something. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I mean, this one's. I would imagine their guidance in there has got to be quite good. But this move here, I know it's early. Obviously, this is initial reaction.
End up red.
Yeah, we've seen this plenty of times, but quite a reaction here for IBM. I got to be honest. I don't know if I've seen a reaction out of IBM like this in quite some time. Probably been about 3 or 4 quarters ago that I saw it react like that.
Yeah. Listen, we don't know what was said, so we'll see how that works. I appreciate the sense of humor, Joseph. But you know, that this is kind of like the prototypical stock that we've talked about. Fundamentally, IBM looks really good. Really, it boiled down to growth. It really boiled down to competitive advantage, like, or differentiation strategy. Like, what were they going to offer different? Which way are they going to take the company?
Yeah.
And we looked at it kind of like a Microsoft situation. Like, could they go in a different direction and carve a new niche? So we'll see what they say. But again, it is, to your point, it is still early. I mean, this could, I kind of half joke, but this could end up red by tomorrow morning. But this is a great move. And this indicates there's something more than just, hey, we slightly beat on revenue and earnings. So I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah. So if you guys are just tuning in, we got 156 of you guys hanging out. And so we appreciate that. If you don't mind hitting that like button, we certainly would appreciate that as well. If you guys are not part of the Chaos Crew already, if you hit that join button next to the subscribe button, that is going to be your access to the Chaos Crew. Every day we put out a watch list to help you guys out. What's moving in the market? What are people talking about? And then we kind of give our analysis on all of those stocks, as well as overall macro sentiment on the market. If you guys want to sign up for that and help out the channel, we certainly would appreciate that. Also, there's a level 2 side of this as well. You can get access to my portfolio, all the trades that I'm making, as well as one live stream a week to kind of go over the plan and what I'm planning on doing. So if you guys want to be a part of that, make sure you hit the join button next to subscribe, or you can also go to ownthechaos.com as well.
Nate, this is a good comment. Is this the earnings where if they beat, it'll actually go up for once? Amen to that.
Probably not.
Michael Hanna says IBM is rolling out their private cloud.
Oh, is that what it is? The stock's up 7% now. This is crazy.
That would be something that would do it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's, whew. If this is a sign of things to come, this would be great.
Yeah. I know.
Come on, Microsoft.
I know. What is Microsoft doing after hours? Is there any sympathy there or potential challenges?
Probably challenges if it's the, it's not reacting at all. Oh no, that's Morgan Stanley. Yeah, Microsoft's actually green. It's actually heading back towards $300. Let's take a look at that.
Jeff Panika says demand is there for boner candles. I couldn't agree more.
Sure is.
Brady Bloody Lips responsible for the 1,000-point move today, says Snickeroo.
Bro, what a game last night too, by the way. I mean, we talked about how it was the best, divisional round for football before that Bills Chiefs game even got started, and then that happened.
Yeah. Like I was on fire with my calls last night. I didn't text it to you, but like when we were texting, because I said 13 seconds is too much time for Mahomes.
Yeah.
And then I was about to say, what are they doing? Like throw it to Tariq. Tariq goes off. And then I tweeted, this is Kelsey time. And Kelsey got the touchdown. Yeah. I was like, I should have bet yesterday because I was like, I felt really good about how all that was going down.
What a wild game.
Jeff Chow, Niners versus Rams. Let's go this Sunday. Niners have beat the Rams, if I'm not mistaken, twice this year.
So
they're 2-0 against the Rams this year.
They are. They've beaten them the last 6 times.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm still taking the Rams this week. And I think this might be blasphemous. I think the Rams defense outperforms the 49ers defense.
Ooh. See, the big kicker for me was that
Packers game told me nothing.
No, yeah, because there was 0 offense.
Yeah.
The only reason the Packers lost is because their special teams is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, that's what it is. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jalen Ramsey has to cover Deebo Samuel. Big deal.
I just want a huge game, a fun game.
I hope it's a good game.
But I'm sorry, man. I've been riding the Rams. Even through the tough times.
Also, Bengals beat Chiefs.
You're calling that?
I think so.
Oh man, I don't think there's a chance in hell.
I know.
But I would love
to see Joe Burrow get sacked 9 times and still win that game. I mean, really, the only reason, I wouldn't say the only reason. One big reason the Bengals won was because Ryan Tannehill just throwing picks all over the place. But
yeah.
My homeboy ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. Mahomes is just too good, man. Too good.
The Bengals are gonna be a problem at AFC North though, moving forward.
Yeah. So anyways, let me see if I can.
I know we went off topic, but whatever.
The other stuff. Anything else from IBM? Mike Han also said something about cloud computing, but I'm not seeing anything.
Logitech went green after hours, but nothing so far as earnings are concerned.
Okay.
But yeah, IBM's still holding its gains here. It's still up over 5% after hours. Went up as high as 7%, and it's creeping right back up there. It closed the day at 128.82. And let me pull the chart back up. Whoop. I lose this cursor all the time. All right, so 128.82. It is now just shot past all after hour highs. So 138.50 and climbing. Now up over 7%. This is still going off. Jeff Chow is not wrong. Says the 49ers versus that Dallas defense told me a lot about the offense. I think you meant about the defense.
Don't tell me anything about. Don't say anything about the Dallas defense. Damn, IBM, you beautiful baby.
Unbelievable.
Get rolling. I wish there was still something here.
Jeff Chow's a Niners fan, though, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I think what he's saying is he's complimenting the Niners defense based on what they
did
or the Niners offense based on the Dallas defense.
Oh, yeah, no, that Niners offense is trash. Except for George. They got George Kittle and Debo.
Yeah, George Kittle's stud. All right. Looking for you guys. I will tell you, like, a glance at all the other IBM numbers.
Yeah.
Their other indicators look really good. Their gross margins, I think, were like at 56% or something. Really strong.
Wow. Ivan Broski said, as a Lions fans, I want to see Stafford win a Super Bowl. What's up with him arguing with Sue? I thought they were buddies. Yeah, I don't know. You know, Ndamukong Suh is, you know, he's just a huge trash talker. So, but yeah, I would love to see Matt Stafford win a Super Bowl too. That would be cool.
I mean, what are your feelings on the Rams? Because I feel like you were questioning them about midseason. Like, are you sold on the Rams or no?
Yeah, well, and I think it was warranted, the shit that I was giving Matt Stafford, because he was throwing interceptions all over the place. But it seems as if they cleaned it up somehow. And obviously, I mean, how does yeah, I don't know. I mean,
well, listen, here's the narrative.
How does Cooper Kupp not be an MVP candidate this year?
I mean, I think it's fair to say he was an MVP candidate, but here's the narratives that happened this year. Let's not forget. The Chiefs, everybody thought that they were
dead.
Getting in the yes. The Rams, after like 7 weeks or 8 weeks, people thought that like Stafford's run was over, and the Patriots were like going back to the next Super Bowl. I think it's just indicative of like things ebb and flow during the season, but
the hot team wins.
But talent, like, the best teams typically rise to the top. I mean, that's usually what happens. Anybody can get lucky for a few weeks, but
the Giants in 2007?
I mean, they had 2 games with some pretty incredible lucky things happen.
Yeah.
That's an anomaly, I would say.
Both times?
Yeah. I mean, how many more examples do you have of that? That weren't they the first wild card
I was just
team?
saying, like, the hot team, you know, I mean, Giants were still pretty hot. I don't think they won the Super Bowl by chance. They were hot at the right time. The Eagles beat the I mean, the Patriots were a way better team than the Eagles when they won that year. On paper.
I don't know. I don't know about that. The Eagles had talent in that. The Giants, yes. The Giants also got lucky. It's no different than saying the Ravens, when they won their last Super Bowl, they got lucky. Right, like you have to have a little bit of luck go in your, like the ball's got to bounce in your favor. That Jacoby Jones catch, against Denver, that's like luck going in your favor.
They were also hot. Joe Flacco didn't throw one interception that whole postseason.
They were hot in the postseason.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying hot leading up to the postseason, aren't you?
No. Like, well, yeah. I mean, like last 2 games, you get hot, you start building momentum.
Yeah, I think the best teams ended up where they are right now.
I agree.
But yeah, it's just funny. Like everybody wants to. I just laugh because everybody was like saying that Kansas City was out of it, and actually thought they weren't going to make the playoffs. It's silly. Here's a question: is this a dead cat bounce? And what the hell is a dead cat bounce? And why is that called that?
I like it, Jeff. I don't think it's a dead cat bounce yet. I think we have to see. I mean, one day is not going to be indicative of a dead cat bounce, at least not in my humble opinion. I would say that we take a look at this and we have to see some sort of rolling over. So, the SPY being up 0.5% today is not indicative of a dead cat bounce. You want to see some huge kind of move and then a rolling over. Like, for example, if it gets up to the 200-day moving average and then gets rejected, then we could potentially see a rolling over. If we get up to the top of this channel that it was trading in, and then we could potentially see a rollover, that's where you would experience some sort of dead cat bounce. And maybe that happens tomorrow. That could happen as soon as Wednesday, rather. Let's say tomorrow ends up being a fantastic day, and then fears come right back after Uncle Jay says, guess what? We're going to continue to tighten. We're going to continue to raise all these rates. We're actually going to do it up 0.5%. So then you're going to see everything kind of roll back over. So I think that one day, in my opinion, does not constitute a dead cat bounce. I think it's usually over a couple of days, and then you see a bit of a rolling over because people kind of like are, well, what are we buying this stuff up for? They start to ask themselves that, and fear kind of creeps back in. So there is that possibility of it happening. I think it's actually more likely than not. But no, I wouldn't say that we're in a dead cat bounce just yet after one day.
Our dear friend Wikipedia, dead cat bounce is derived from the idea that even a dead cat will bounce if it falls from a great height.
Yeah, just think about it like back in the day. For those of you who remember Looney Tunes, remember when Wile E. Coyote would fall off the cliff and then bounce? Somehow he stayed alive. Same thing. Sylvester and Tweety fall off of some big giant building and bounces off. Same thing. But when he bounces, what happens? Falls right back into the ground.
Arnie Vaneker asks, what do you think? Are we lower in a week from now?
Yeah, probably.
Ivan Broski says Powell just needs to do one rate hike to 7% and get it over with. Rip the
7%. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Microsoft has a lot of volume rolling in, apparently.
Does it? Take a look here.
Yeah, that is certainly morbid.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who came up with that, but.
Sam Clark, appreciate the love, man. Love the show. If you love the show, hit that thumbs up. We got 176 people in the house. Appreciate.
There we go.
Everybody rolling in. Rudy Brown says Tom and Jerry would be more accurate. That is good.
Okay. I'm with that.
Mickey Mouse died, says Jeff Chow. Or Jeff Panuka.
What?
Michael Hanna says, I'm staying the course. Fuck the cat.
Hell yeah. I don't see a whole lot of volume rolling in. At the end of the day, that last 5 minutes, yeah, there was a shit ton of volume rolling in on Microsoft there, and you're not wrong. Huge spike in there. That must have been a big giant buy from some sort of toot. The toots were buying last part of the day. Checking back in with IBM. So IBM, if you guys didn't catch it, if you're just rolling in, they reported earnings this afternoon, and I'll pull up the chart here. They were up as much as 7%. Let's take a look at where they're at right now. Still maintaining their gains at around 5.75% on some really good earnings, but it looks like their guidance was also good. And they spoke about what was it, Fat Man Zoom, carrying out their cloud computing side of their business?
Yeah, and quad computing and private cloud services.
There you go.
I think Michael Hanna said that's
which would compete with something like a Snowflake, I would imagine. Some of the other ones as well, Fastly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's big for the company. Good stuff there.
Yeah, we have oh shoot, I just had so Revenue beat, earnings per share beat. Revenue came in at 16.7 versus 16 billion, 15.96, which is actually lower than last quarter, which was over 17 billion. But gross margins were 57%, which was really, really strong.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing else in Twitter land, which is actually surprising. Let me see real quick here. The CEO says our fourth quarter results give us confidence in our ability to deliver our objectives and to sustain mid-single digit revenue growth and strong free cash flow in 2022. Yeah, which is, I mean, nothing like crazy. So we'll wait to hear more about what the plans are, but I'm sure this has more to do with forward-thinking operations for IBM.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Logitech was the other one that had earnings after hours, and they were green, but there's like no volume there. I'm not sure.
So I think that might have been a mistake because on Google, Logitech says the 25th tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird. And then somebody on
That is
Twitter
weird.
said it's the 25th. So I think there's mixed signals here. Wouldn't be our first time.
Yeah, Earnings Whisperers sometimes gets that wrong. Halliburton had earnings this morning, though, and that actually closed in the green as well, up 3.8% off of their earnings. Really nice there. They beat earnings and then also came in $1 billion higher than the year before on revenue.
Yep.
I think that's only going to continue to go up from here. Lots of dynamics here as well, especially geopolitically. If you guys didn't catch the headlines there was some tumultuous activity, some firing of missiles, if you will, in the Middle East. Yemen shooting rockets over to the UAE. Never a good sign. However, it's good for oil. I think that trend probably continues a little bit, along with the issues going on between Russia and Ukraine as well. I think that only makes things more bullish for oil, in my opinion. But Halliburton, the immediate benefactor of that on their earnings. We got a lot more earnings coming up as far as energy is concerned. Exxon, Chevron, Marathon, all the ons coming up on the earnings.
FYI, we haven't talked too much about crypto, but Ethereum just went below 2,500. Or has been below 2,500.
Yeah.
Which was my buy last time. I'm really interested in.
Where you bought it last time?
It's where I added last time.
Oh, where you added last time?
Yeah. Solano, I'm looking at adding, but yeah, look at that.
Woo, it's been rough. Let's pull up the chart here on Ethereum. So here's Ethereum here. Really fell off the cliff over the weekend and going into last week. This is a question that I want to ask a particular, any crypto bulls. Like, if you were buying cryptocurrency to kind of like hedge yourself towards market volatility, but it moves with the market, like, what's the explanation there? And that's kind of like something that I have a hard time wrapping my head around. I will say, though, that Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum today, and that is up 1.7% just on the day. And it actually started to make a little bit of a comeback yesterday. This is moving exactly like this is like a leveraged version of the overall market.
Yeah.
Right. Because whatever move the market has, this has like a move that's 10 times as volatile.
Yeah. Kirby says Ethereum fell off a cliff. Nate says F crypto. Rudy Brown, Ethereum will test 700 again before it bounces.
And then Don says, who bought crypto for that reason? You see it everywhere, my man. Buy it as a hedge against inflation. Buy it, because it doesn't move like the rest of the markets do. Like, you see that all the time. Just look at Twitter. FinTwit, it's everywhere.
Somebody had mentioned something about like being frustrated with, I might have been Ethereum. My point to that is nobody's like, well, are you holding it for the long term? Or are you holding it for day trading? Because it seems like the majority of people are holding these things for the long-term outlook. And so who cares if it dips down this low? Because if you have that conviction long-term, you should be happy that it's come down this far. And if it does fall below $2,000 for some reason, you should be even happier if your horizon is 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So I feel like people get stuck in this, want things to go up forever. But if you really have conviction in this, like for me, I'm not selling crypto anytime soon. So yeah, I'd love for my unrealized to look really good, but it really doesn't matter. This actually, if my expectations from long term play out, this is actually a great thing for me because I get a better cost basis.
Yeah.
I do think Ethereum probably dips further, but then springs back. I'm definitely holding for the long term. Ivan Broski said Coinbase is probably a safer bet.
I actually put out a tweet today just in the markets themselves. And this morning I was very loud on Twitter talking about how I saw that there was a potential bounce here. And I think it could have been quite ferocious.
For what? The overall?
For the overall market. But this pertains to this logic as well. But I was trying to like just tee it up. Talked about just how far things had come down. I was like, and the noise on Twitter was very loud about I'm just going to continue to buy puts, and me, Kevin, sold all of his shit. And like, there's just so much going on. It was like, you look at the charts, RSI is way oversold on the SPY.
Yeah.
And it was like, this does feel like a bottom. We had a big giant flush. The Dow was down 1,000 points at one point today. And so I was like, y'all, and I was real loud about it. So then I said, everybody wants this type of move until they have to pull the trigger and they don't have the balls to do it.
Yeah.
And plays right into that same mindset. It's like you want the move down, and then once you get it, you're running for the hills. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, we gave it to you on a silver platter. Just take it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Is it going to be one of those times where people are like, man, I wish I would have bought back in January, the end of January? I'm still not convinced that like we're just going to come back strong. And I know you're not saying that, but I need to see this whole week play out.
Yes.
Before I feel like I'm going to add on to anything. I'm not getting rid of anything, but we'll see.
One day isn't going to make up for really this entire year so far.
It's funny that Fedman Zoom is now a hodler. You and I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe it was about crypto.
Oh,
before you hopped on the crypto.
Oh, what was it, Michael? I don't remember.
Maybe you had some words about it.
I probably did.
Kanoko Phillips. Yeah. Cop. You're still in Kanoko Phillips, aren't you?
Yeah.
That one I think had a good day today.
What did it?
Yeah, it went back to green. It was red. Yeah.
I did just check my account. I was just up 0.25%. I'll take any green today.
I mean, it's a good thing you didn't look at it this morning.
I know.
Just checking back in with IBM, guys. If you guys are tuning in, so it looks like there's some more people rolling. We've got about 170 of you hanging out. IBM, 5 1/3%, pulling back a little bit from its 7% gains in after hours trading on some pretty good earnings. They came in and beat earnings and beat on revenue, and then also carrying out some of their cloud communication services. What are you looking at? What happened?
Conoco's not up 6%, is it?
No.
IBM is. Huh. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, IBM is carrying out their a lot of their cloud services. And so that's what it appears that's what has a lot of people excited about IBM, but pretty good stuff there. And I don't know what their outlook is just yet. We haven't really gotten word on that, but pretty good move on IBM. This to me has me a little bit more excited about what's to come for Microsoft tomorrow.
Don says, if you guys think Leaps perform, I'll wait until we crash and then buy some little baby price Leaps.
No, my pen Leaps were doing great today.
Nice. All right, guys. Tomorrow is when things start rolling. We got pre-market Johnson & Johnson, GE, Verizon, American Express. Great pre-market.
Big day.
After hours, Microsoft, Capital One, Texas Instruments. I mean, we're really looking at Microsoft there. We will be live at 3:45 Eastern time tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. We appreciate you guys hanging out. We appreciate the support. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe notification bell because we got some pre-recorded content coming out that we're going to be making after we sign off. So we will see you guys mañana. You got anything else?
That's going to do it for us. Make sure you go to ownthechaos.com or hit that join button to become part of the crew, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.